Hey everybody, this is Modern Refugee on a hot, humid night here. I thought I'd take a few minutes to talk to you guys a little bit about weapons lube and the weapons lubes that I use personally, and talk a little bit about some alternatives if you couldn't find your preferred brands and whatnot. Now, I sold guns for years, seen a lot of different weapons lubes. I've hunted, I've done a lot of shooting in my day, and I've got some real specific opinions on the different products that I use and I like. And the old timers would use a mix mash of everything from 3-in-1 oil to WD-40, and I don't use any of that stuff. I've used more modern alternatives, even when I was first started out shooting. And probably the one that I've used the longest for the most is break-free CLP. I've used a lot of CLP over the years, and I used to use it both internally on the internal mechanisms of the firearms and then on the external part of the firearms. Now, like if I knew I was going out on a hunt, where I was going to be in sleet or whatever, I would coat down the outside of my firearm and wipe it down good with CLP. And I still think to this day CLP is the best thing for the outside of your firearm. I've even had firearms that I thought were perfectly clean, wiped them down with a little CLP, came back the next day, and it actually drew out microscopic rust, I guess is the best thing that you can tell. It actually drew it out of the metal, and I've actually restored a lot of firearms that way for different friends and whatnot over the years. And another thing that I'll use CLP for is if I have weapons lights and I'm going to go do a lot of shooting, I'll just put a thin coating of CLP on the lens, and then that way it makes it a lot easier to clean these guys off, because these light lenses are close to the muzzle. They will pick up fouling, and then that's a good way where you can wipe it down when you're done shooting or whatever, and then reapply it if you're doing actually a really long range session. Now, I said internal and external parts of the firearms. I've moved away from using CLP internally on firearms. The next product that I used was M7 Pro, and M7 Pro was another one that I used for a long time on the internal parts of firearms, like bolt carrier groups and that kind of stuff. But then I progressed even further from there, and I started using this Slip 2000 EWL, and I gotta say, this has been probably my favorite internal lubricant that I've used on any of my firearms over the years. And Ballistol is another one. In the last year or two here, I've had people, sort of say, hey, why don't you try this stuff out? This is another thing that I've tried and I've had fairly good luck with, but I've only used it for a year or so, and where I've used like the Slip 2000 and the CLP and stuff a lot longer. Now, there's different specifications on weapons lubes. Sometimes you want a more like an oil base, and then sometimes you want grease. And I've actually had pretty good luck just using regular red grease, because that's what I got here anyway. Now, there's certain things that need grease. Now, I'm going to show you here on one of my old SIGs. You can see I applied the grease inside that groove right there, and that's actually the specification on a lot of SIGs. They want some type of grease in the grooves there of the older SIGs, and I've had pretty good luck with just using plain red grease. Now, there's other firearms that have specific kind of specifications where you put grease on. It's the same thing. I'll take a Q-tip, I'll dip it down in the red grease, make sure I got the excess off, and then I'll coat that particular part, whatever it is, with the red grease. Another thing here, you can see the little wear mark on the barrel there. That's always a good indication that that's a place that needs some type of lubricant. And when I'm done lubing everything all up and putting them away, I will typically wait till the next day, and then I'll wipe everything down again, specifically for like that microscopic rust that I was telling you guys about. You'll be surprised, and I've done it with muzzle loaders, I've done it with just all kinds of firearms over the years. You'll be surprised on how much more grime and grit and fouling and rust and that kind of stuff you can pull off of that metal if you put that CLP on and then you wipe it down a day later. So what do you use if SHTF happens? And one of the things that I have no problem using either is a real lightweight motor oil, like a synthetic Mobil 1 in a 0W20. It's very thin. You don't need very much of it. So if I was completely out of all my favorite lubes, and I didn't have anything like Slip 2000 or Ballistol or CLP or anything like that anymore, I would revert back to like a Mobil 1 in the thinnest configuration possible, which is a 0W20. I've had good luck using that too as well. I just thought I'd take this quick few minutes here to show you guys some of the stuff that I use and how it works for me, and how I go about utilizing the lube on my different weapons. But anyways, this is Modern Refugee. Appreciate all my subscribers out there. Hope you guys got a little information, a little entertainment out of this video, and another tool for your toolbox. As always, you guys have a good one.